Hello everyone, welcome back to our live coverage here on the British Cycling YouTube channel of day 2 of the British Cycling National Track Championships here at the Geraint Thomas National Velodrome of Wales. The activity building up in the track centre, ready for a great night's racing. You're in the right place to catch all the action. My name's Carl Lawrence, alongside me, Charlene Jones. We'll be bringing you the commentary throughout our live stream tonight. So the crowd already packing into the velodrome here, and here's what you can look forward to during the course of tonight's action. Men's sprint, we're at the semi-final stage in that one. Women's keirin competition begins as the second event on this evening's programme, and those two events played out to the conclusion at the end of the evening. We've also got the final of the women's scratch race after having 2 qualification heats earlier this afternoon, and the final also of the men's point race, the longest in distance race of these championships. That'll be taking place this evening as well. A feast of entertainment lies ahead on day 2. The 2023 British Cycling National Track Championships would like to thank the following partners for their support of this event: British Cycling, Welsh Cycling, Newport Live, Newport City Council and Sport Wales. So welcome along, folks. It is our evening session on day 2 here of these British Cycling National Track Cycling Championships. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've been with us all day, we started very early this morning, and an 8-hour session followed with lots of racing, qualifying, and heats of various competitions packed in. We'll bringing you finals this evening, including our first event on the track, which is the men's sprint. We've reached the semi-final stage here. And this is now where we have got 4 riders who'll fight out for the relative medal rides. The winners of the semi-finals will go into the gold and silver medal final, and the losers will contest the bronze medal final. As ever with match sprinting at this stage of the competition, it is best of 3. And our first match in particular is one that's been whetting people's interest over the last few hours since the start sheet was published. We have the defending champion, the Olympic bronze medalist in this discipline, the man in the green colours of Team Inspired, being wheeled onto the track by Jason Kenny. This is Jack Collin. And Jack will be taking on another fast man on the boards from the ESV Manchester team, super sprinter Matt Rotherham. So who can get first blood in this one? Jack Collin, of course, very, very experienced sprinter indeed. Matt Rotherham, great showman and a great turn of speed. So it's going to be an intriguing battle. And of course, there's always a psychological advantage, Charlene, in getting the first match under your belt, particularly in this one, I think.
Yes, and riders are off the start line.
So Jack Collin had drawn the inside position here. So he is obliged to lead for the first half lap at least, unless Matt Rotherham decides to go around him. Both of them extremely rapid riders when the sprint begins to unfold, but this can be as much of a tactical battle as a speed contest as well. So the reason they're pacing very, very slowly around the bottom of the track, generally considered that the rider in the second position at this stage has the advantage because he can see what his opponent is doing or about to do, whereas the rider in front has to constantly keep looking behind. The element of surprise is with the second rider here, and that's Matt Rotherham at the moment. Jack Collin just drifting down the track. They need to have a certain velocity going through the bankings, otherwise an ignominious slide to the bottom could ensue. So he just picked up the pace a little bit, but Collin trying to entice Rotherham to take closer order. Rotherham, though, continuing to occupy the higher reaches of the track. Now a little dip down between Collin and Rotherham. Still the same relative positions, though. Jack Collin still in front. This one is a real battle going on here for the first match of a potential 3. Collin begins the acceleration. Neither rider committed to the sprinter line yet. Jack Collin, defending champion in this discipline, drops down now inside that red line. If Rotherham's going to take him, he's going to go around the outside. That's the longer way to the line. Jack Collin hangs on at the front, coming into the finishing straight. Jack Collin of Team Inspired. Matt Rotherham swings up. He knows he's beaten. Jack Collin has outpaced Matt Rotherham to the line, and he will go 1 match to the good.
Well, that was some exciting racing with some ducking and diving in the first couple of laps. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that in the coming sprints.
Well, of course, the pressure now very much on Matt Rotherham. He has to win the next match to force a decider. Otherwise, he'll find himself in the bronze medal final. Jack Collin, of course, is the defending champion, having won this title last year here on the boards of the Newport Velodrome. So we'll return to that one a little bit later. Our second heat is also featuring a rider from Team Inspired. This is Harry Ledingham-Horn, and he'll be taking on Lyle Craig from the Glasgow Track RC. Lyle Craig rode extremely well in the preliminary rounds of the sprint here to secure his place in the semi-final.
Very good tactical rider, Lyle Craig, so be expecting some exciting things from this match sprint.
Harry Ledingham-Horn, part of the gold medal winning team sprint squad yesterday. Lyle Craig also in action in that team sprint as well. So Lyle Craig is the man on the outside here. I should say he's on the inside, the right way around, shall we? The man on the inside, the man on the outside is Harry Ledingham-Horn. Starters happy, riders are happy, whistle blows, off we go. 3 laps of the track. Again, same tactics we expect may be employed here. Lyle Craig has shown himself to be a wily tactician in the preceding rounds. If you weren't with us earlier in the day, good fight back to take this place here for Lyle Craig.
And Harry Ledingham-Horn just really close to the wheel in front of him there. The closer he is to that wheel, the more challenging it's going to be for Lyle Craig to actually see him. So perhaps aiming for some element of surprise. Wants to hold that man-2 position for the first half of the race anyway.
Yeah, they're past that point now where they must keep that walking pace going, but they must keep the walking pace going now, otherwise might come to grief on the banking. They can come to a halt if they so wish to try and persuade the second rider to come past the first. No more than 2 occasions during a sprint match, and for no more than 30 seconds per standstill. I've not seen any attempted standstills even so far in the sprint, either the women's or the men's competition so far. But this is about as slow as the riders can go. Even the bottom part of the track has a slight slope to it, so you have to keep some forward momentum. But Lyle Craig trying to persuade Harry Ledingham-Horn that you'd really like to be at the front, wouldn't you? And the Team Inspired rider saying, nope, quite happy where I am, thank you. I can see exactly what's going on. So the pace will be beginning to lift, I'm sure, as we'll get 1 lap to go next time round. Craig needs to be watchful that Ledingham-Horn doesn't take advantage of the big gap over the top and dive down underneath him. Craig covers that move by dipping inside the sprinter's line himself. So Lyle Craig out of the saddle, begins the acceleration. Harry Ledingham-Horn begins his response. Full gas as they come out of corner 2. And now the Team Inspired rider going around the outside. Can Lyle Craig hold him off? Well, Harry Ledingham-Horn is over the top of the final banking and across the line in first place. So Team Inspired's Harry Ledingham-Horn takes that one. He'll go 1 match up against Lyle Craig from Glasgow Track RC. So we will return to that men's sprint action following our next event, which will be 3 heats in the first round of the women's keirin.
This is one of my favourite events, Carl.
You like a man on a motorbike?
It was one of my favourite events to ride as a rider,
got you.
to race as a rider. And I absolutely love that. All these riders taken onto the track will be in absolutely massive gears. They're going to have to select their gear before, but because the Derny picks them up and they increases their speed, then they can actually go on a bigger gear than normal.
So let me just explain for those of you who are new to this particular aspect of cycle sport exactly what is going on here and how the keirin works. The riders draw for a starting position. They'll be arranged up the track on the pursuit line where the starter is standing at the moment with the gun in the hand. And they will then take up the wheel of the Derny bike. That's the name for the little motorised bicycle that's in the back straight at the moment. That will pick the riders up when they're travelling, when he's travelling at 30 kilometres per hour. They must take up position behind the Derny in the order in which they start. So the rider at the bottom of the track takes the wheel of the Derny, the next one in line goes behind, and so on. And they must maintain that in the initial part of the race. The Derny will gradually increase the speed up to 50 kilometres per hour, at which point it will then leave the track in the home straight with 3 laps to go. And then it's a full-on sprint for 3 laps. The first 2 riders in each of these heats will go directly into the semi-finals. The losers will go into a draw for a second chance, which is called in cycling parlance a repechage. So that's what it's all about. Normal sprint rules apply. And the riders must not draw level with or overtake the Derny whilst it is on the track. So hopefully that covers all that. Let's quickly go through the riders for you who are lining up here. For SES Racing, we have Emily Burgess. For Team Inspired, Katie Marchant. For VC Lincoln, Georgette Rand. For Team Inspired also have Blaine Ridge Davis. For Blackline, the defending champion Ellie Stone. And for SES Racing is Anna Whitworth Hay. So those are the riders for you on the start lines. And the riders here get underway Please, people expectating and leaning over the barriers, do not have your telephone hanging over the barriers. If you were to let go of it, it would be disaster. Please do not lean over the barriers holding your telephones. Thank you. So the riders underway. The engine note of the Derny bike will gradually get more and more insistent as the pace picks up. The rider who's got the wheel of the Derny is Katie Marchant. Katie on way back to top-level racing after becoming a mum a little while ago. So she's in the green colours of Team Inspired. 6 laps in total, as we mentioned, 3 behind the Derny, 3 once the Derny has departed from the track. Next in line with number 26 on the bike is Emily Burgess of SES Racing. She's got a teammate further down the line, that's Anna Whitworth-Hay. The other Team Inspired rider in there is Blaine Ridge-Davis. And for the VC Lincoln, Georgette Rand. And not forgetting, of course, the defending champion, the rider who won the keirin last year. She's in the black towards the back of that line. Number 171 is Ellie Stone. So the Derny has departed from the track. Riders now have free rein to fight this one out for the closing 3 laps. Move starting to come over the top. And looks like a move from Blaine Ridge-Davis of Team Inspired, who is taking this one on from the front. Being pursued by the defending champion, Ellie Stone. Down the back straight they go. Katie Marchant is involved in this one as well. It's Stone, Marchant and Blaine Ridge-Davis with 1 lap to go. Now Ellie Stone comes to the front, but a strong challenge here from Katie Marchant. She's going to go around the outside of Stone. She's still got her teammate in 3rd place, the 2 SES riders with the VC Lincoln rider between them. Coming round now to the completion of this one, it's going to be Team Inspired on the front and taking the win for Katie Marchant. Ellie Stone will get 2nd. Those 2 will go into the semi-final draw directly. The rest will go into the mix for the repechage. It'll come up a little bit later to give them a 2nd opportunity.
Well, Katie Marchant was looking strong there as she came over the top, leaving them for dust.
So whilst we wait for the next heat to come to the line, can I just repeat our request to the youngsters from Cycle Stars who are arranged along the barriers in the home straight. Can you please not lean over the barriers holding your telephone? Otherwise, if you let go, disaster will ensue. Please do not place yourself or any items on the barriers. Thank you for your cooperation. So the draw has been made in track centre for the 2nd of these 3 keirin heats. Lining up for this one, rider who finished in the bronze medal position in the sprint competition, Lauren Bell of Team Inspired. She's already seen her teammate Blaine Ridge-Davis ride really well in the first heat to go through it directly to the semis. We have the sprint champion from yesterday and the silver medalist from the keirin last year. That's Emma Finnegan of the Team Inspired squad. For Edinburgh Road Club, we have Sarah Johnson. For the Glasgow Track RC, Sylvia Mistel. For Team Inspired, also Iona Moore, and the final member of the lineup here for the Wales Racing Academy is Serena Nat. Those are your riders for heat number 2 of the keirin first round. Again, the first 2 across the line will go directly to the semis. The rest will go into the repechage mix. And just what we like to see, Charlene, 3 riders from Team Inspired on identical bikes, jerseys and helmets, and all together at the top of the track. It'll test your powers of observation to the max, folks. The rider right down at the bottom of the track there from the Wales Racing Academy jersey is Serena Nat. She is the rider who's obliged to take up the wheel of the Derny when it comes through. Just alongside her, in fact, is Sylvia Mistel. And then alongside Sylvia for the Edinburgh RC is Sarah Johnson. And then our 3 riders from Inspired, who Charlene has been looking very carefully to work out whom is who. We've got Iona Moore as the 4th rider. We've got Emma Finnecane as 5th and Lauren Bell on the outside. She's the 6th rider. There's our Derny pacer in the back straight. For those of you watching on our live stream, he shall propel his machine. A combination of 2-stroke pedal power propulsion makes the Derny go. Keep an eye on his speedometer to make sure he picks the riders up at 30 kilometers per hour and drops them off at 50 kilometers per hour. So the riders will arrange themselves in that order behind the Derny.
And the riders must stay in this order until the Derny drops them off.
Well, Serena Nat, fourth in the team sprint last year. She's the rider in the Wales Racing Academy colours, directly behind the Derny. Just behind Serena is Sylvia Mistel from the Glasgow Track Racing team. And the other Scottish rider involved here, who's not on Team Inspired, well, that, of course, is Sarah Johnson. Iana Moore for Team Inspired is there, together with Emma Finnecane and Lauren Bell. 4 to go. Pace of the Derny continues to rise.
Sarah Johnson is actually a junior racer on the Junior Academy. So great to see these young riders step up to elite level. Gaps starting to appear, but that's okay, because sometimes when you have that gap, you leave enough room to make a manoeuvre to come around the rider in front of you.
So the Derny has vacated the track in the home straight. Little look over the shoulder from Serena Nat, just easing herself briefly out of the saddle just to make sure she keeps the momentum going. The 3 Team Inspired riders at the back here, beginning to consider the tactics, and launching the first significant attack is sprint champion Emma Finnecane. Down the back straight they go. Finnecane in the lead, and Serena Nat still up there in 3rd place. Oh, and little move there as they came out of corner 4. A wave went up the track, but everyone stayed upright.
And that's Lauren Bell on the hip there. 2 Inspired riders out the front. Little gap beginning to appear, so these 2 riders are still out in front.
Yep, off the final corner and coming towards the line, it's going to be Team Inspired, and the sprint champion Emma Finnecane will take that along. Laura Bell got 2nd place. Those 2 will go directly into the semi-final draw. And the rest, well, they will go into the repechage heats a little bit later, the second chance opportunity. So Emma Finnecane first across the line ahead of Lauren Bell. Serena Nat was 3rd, Iana Moore 4th, and Sarah Johnson and Sylvia Mistel was the order of finish in that one. We've got 1 more heat to go in this women's keirin first round. Derny back in position on the back straight. And the rider's about to come out onto the track here in the home straight. So the lineup for this 3rd heat, we have got Yuanda Adesida. She's riding as a British Cycling private member. She's the rider in the predominantly black colours, I think, if you're looking to identify which rider is which. We've also got for JRC Interflon Racing Team in the dark blue, that's Katie Ann Culton. The Team Inspired, last year's bronze medalist in the keirin, and the current silver medalist from the sprint a couple of days ago, in fact yesterday, is Sophie Capewell. Wales Racing Academy have Stephanie Hall in this one, and the other 2 members of Team Inspired, we've got Millicent Tanner and Lowry Thomas. That's the lineup for the 3rd and final heat of the round 1 of the women's keirin. So Stephanie Hall looks as though she is slotting in at that bottom position, so she will have to take up the wheel of the Derny when it comes through. Alongside her is Katie Ann Culton of JRC Interflon. Well, Yuanda Adesida, in fact, in an orange jersey now. She had a black jersey on earlier in the day, but plain jersey signifying she is a British Cycling private member. Just below her, slotted into line, is Millicent Tanner. Above Yuanda, well, we have got Lowry Thomas, and right at the top of the track is Sophie Capewell. That's the lineup for Heat 3. Starter walks down the line, make sure everyone's ready, indicates to the Derny pacer that we are good to go. It's Pip Taylor on board the Derny. Experienced Derny rider. Riders line out behind. They do have to actually take the wheel of the Derny, by the way. You can't sit back and watch it disappear in the distance, otherwise the heat will be stopped and the offending rider potentially penalised by the commissaires. So they do have to take up the wheel of the Derny in good time after the start has been given. So the Welsh jersey there of Stephanie Hall locks onto the back wheel of the motorised Derny bike.
When there's this many riders in a race, when the Derny comes off, you don't want to be at the back. So you might start to see riders towards the end of the Derny pacing part of the race start to manoeuvre their way up towards the front positions.
Yeah, they do begin to anticipate the departure of the Derny, which is just about now, with 3 laps to go. For now, the order remains the same. Capel right at the back.
However, these days you don't want to be leading out because the gears are bigger and you've got to push through that wind for longer.
Certainly not for 3 laps. Yolanda Adesida starts to pick up the pace. The rider in the orange jersey, riding a British Cycling private member. She's got the 3 team-inspired riders all around her. And, well, Inspired once again have picked up the pace on the front. 1 lap to go. And speeding past her teammate, that was Sophie Capel on the charge here with Lowry Thomas just behind. And it's going to be, looks like it might be a 1-2-3 here for Team Inspired. Of course, the first 2 go directly through into the semi-finals. And it's going to be Sophie Capel, last year's bronze medalist, and second across the line, that was Lowry Thomas for Team Inspired. Just to wrap up the result for you, Millicent Tanner got 3rd, Stephanie Hall 4th, Katie Ann Carlton in 5th, and Yolanda Adesida in 6th place. So the riders directly into the semis are Emily Burgess and Katie Marchant, Lauren Bell and Emma Finnecane, Sophie Capel and Lowry Thomas. Everybody else will go into the repechage draw. So from keirin, we're going to go back to the men's sprint competition. We are at the Match B stage. So those riders who won the opening match, it's specifically Jack Carlin and Harry Ledingham-Horn, will be rather hoping to wrap things up this time. Those who didn't win, Matt Rotherham and Lyle Craig, will be rather hoping they don't. So Heat 1, Match B comes to the track. The start order reversed in the second match. The rider who started on the inside earlier will now start on the outside. So Carlin will take up second wheel behind Matt Rotherham, unless he elects to go past him, of course. A great tactical battle, a display of some really interesting sprint skills from these two in the preliminary laps of the last encounter. But ultimately, Jack Carlin outpacing Matt Rotherham to the line. See if Rotherham can turn the tables. Rotherham in the white and green of ESV Manchester, newly combined team of Eastlands Velo and Sport City Velo. And behind him, the defending champion and the Olympic bronze medalist Jack Carlin of Team Inspired. A slightly more rapid departure from the line this time, prompted by Matt Rotherham. Trying to draw Carlin into an earlier move, perhaps. Matt looking over his shoulder, as is required when in the front of the sprint here. Carlin gets out the saddle, takes up a higher position. Rotherham is doing his work towards the bottom of the track, begins his acceleration. Here comes Carlin latching onto the slipstream of Matt Rotherham. It's almost an action replay, but this time Rotherham has got a better run into the finishing straight, but here comes Jack Carlin. Well, Jack Carlin is showing a consummate turn of speed here, and the defending champion in 2 straight rides dispatches Matt Rotherham. Rotherham will have to fight for a bronze medal later, and Jack Carlin secures his berth in the gold medal final. No necessity for a match C. Well, we knew Jack Carlin was on good form. He was the only rider to clock a sub-10 second time in the qualification round at the beginning of this morning's session. And at that speed, absolutely in evidence there on the track. So, turning our attention now to Heat 2 and Harry Ledingham-Horn and Lyle Craig. Charlene, what can Lyle do against that pace we saw from Harry in the opening match?
Well, he's been racing well so far. Good tactics on show. I think he is going to have the position at the back, which is the more favoured position. You'll be able to see what his opponent's doing. Harry Ledingham-Horn in front. So as they slowly creep off the start line.
So again, positions reversed from the first heat, with Ledingham-Horn obliged to lead away. That gives Lyle Craig a small advantage in that Ledingham-Horn has to ride forwards whilst looking backwards over his shoulder. The element of surprise also on the side of the rider from the Glasgow Track RC. But, he knows that the pace of Harry Ledingham-Horn was the decisive element in the first match. So doing everything he can to try and make sure that Ledingham-Horn doesn't get too big an advantage when the sprint opens up. Prowling around the bottom of the track at the moment. Team-inspired rider just feathering the pedals to moderate his speed. Lyle Craig is having a little flick to the left and right, trying to upset the rider in front, but he's not falling for that one. Instead, he gets out the saddle and begins to accelerate. Ledingham-Horn on the front still, as Craig begins to take closer order. Bell this time, 1 lap to go. First rider inside that red line will force his opponent to go around the outside. Is Harry Ledingham-Horn of Team Inspired. Here comes Lyle Craig. Can he hit back? He's getting closer and closer as they come underneath the scoreboard. But that advantage on the inside line is going to play into the favour of Harry Ledingham-Horn. And he too, in 2 straight rides, will go into the gold medal final, where he'll take on his teammate, Jack Carlin. So an exciting prospect for that men's sprint final. Should be coming up a little bit later. We're going to return to action in the keirin now, with the repechage heats, the second chance opportunities for those riders who didn't take one of the first 2 places in the 3 heats previously. There are 3 repechage heats about to come up for you, and again, the first 2 riders in each heat will go forward into the next round of the competition, the semi-finals. Well, just a little bit of repair work going on the track in the back straight. Those of you watching our live stream will have a close-up view of our Commissaire President, Dave Menzies, from Scotland, making sure that that track is repaired effectively. There's nothing you can't fix with a bit of gaffer tape and maybe the odd zip tie. So David happy now with the state of the track in the back straight. And so the competition will continue. Riders already through into the semi-finals from the first round of the keirin. Emily Burgess, Katie Marchant, Lauren Bell, Emma Finnecane, Sophie Capel and Lowry Thomas. 4 riders will line up for the first repechage heat, of which 2 will make progress into the semi-final draw as well. So this is the longest day of competition here at the 2023 National Tuck Cycling Championships. We began at 9 o'clock this morning, finished the morning session round about 5:15 this afternoon, and started racing again just about half an hour ago at 7 o'clock. We've got a great programme of events for you throughout the evening, though, with those finals of the distance races, the women's scratch and the men's points. Of course, both the sprint for the men and the keirin for the women also played out to its conclusion here for you this evening. If you've not got tickets for tomorrow, by the way, for day 3, the third and final day of these championships, I believe tickets are still available, so you can pick those up. Visit the British Cycling website to find out where you can do that. And don't forget, if you have to go and do something slightly less important than watching track cycling live tomorrow, then you can always follow the action on our British Cycling YouTube channel. Not just tomorrow, but you can re-watch it, catch up with anything you missed for as long as you like, just by maybe saving those live stream videos to your favourites in your YouTube app. So, who have we got for heat number 1? Blaine Ridge-Davis of Team Inspired, Iona Moore also from Team Inspired, Stephanie Hall of Wales Racing Academy, and Yuanda Adesida riding as a British Cycling private member. Those are the 4 riders who will line up here. Last chance opportunity to get a place in the semi-finals. Yuanda Adesida is rolled into position, the rider in the orange colours. Iona Moore lines up right at the bottom. Alongside her is her teammate Blaine Ridge-Davis, and at the top for Wales, that is Stephanie Hall. The internationally recognised symbol to get the journey underway is issued by starter Phil Pollard. Off we go. So just 4 riders here. So a little bit more room for tactical racing once the Derniers departed from the track, with slightly fewer riders amongst the mix here, Charlie.
It's like a 4-up sprint, isn't it, Carl? So we're going to be expecting to see no one really wanting to be at the front of the race. However, moves coming early from the back.
Again, weight of numbers on the side of Team Inspired, with Blaine Ridge-Davis and Iona Moore in the mix here. It's Moore who is the rider immediately behind the Dernier. To help identification, Blaine Ridge-Davis has the rather more unusual rear frame design on her Lotus bike. Then it's Yuanda Adesida and Stephanie Hall. The Dernier will leave the track with 3 laps to go. That's in the home straight this time. Little look over the shoulder here from Iona Moore.
Little gaps starting to appear, but as I said before, it's all about leaving the gap so that she has enough room to rush her opponent.
Well, it looks as though Stephanie Hall might be interested in having a little move around the outside here. The Welsh rider extricates herself from the rear of the bunch. As Blaine Ridge-Davis starts to ride away as well. Davis and Hall at the front here, with in 3rd spot currently Iona Moore. No move yet from Adesida into the final lap. Blaine Ridge-Davis still being chased by Stephanie Hall. Another kick now from Iona Moore as she draws level with Hall. The battle for second place here. The first two will go into the semi-finals, and it's going to be the two team-inspired riders in the order of Blaine Ridge-Davis and Iona Moore who make progress further in this keirin competition. So it was a good move from Stephanie Hall once the Derny had left the track to try and take this one on, but of course outnumbered by the team-inspired riders, and they did the L1-2 with Iona Moore leading out and then Blaine Ridge-Davis coming around the outside, and they both secured a place in the final at the expense of Stephanie Hall and Yuanda Adesida. Four more riders to take up the challenge in the next heat. This is heat 2 of 3. Wales Racing Academy's Serena Nat, SES Racing's Emily Burgess, Edinburgh RC rider Sarah Johnson, and for VC Lincoln, Georgette Rand are the riders who will line up for heat 2.
Three riders in red there, so when there are information behind the Derny, we'll let you know who is who.
Well, I reckon this is Serena Nat of the Wales Racing Academy coming to the line first. The rider not in red will be Georgette Rand from the VC Lincoln. Next in line is the Edinburgh RC rider at the top of the track, Sarah Johnson. So below her for SES Racing is Emily Burgess. Very similar colours, the design for the jerseys for SES Racing and the Edinburgh RC. Serena Nat taking some deep breaths there, ready to take a position behind the Derny. Well, the only thing we can say with any degree of certainty in this heat is that there won't be any team-inspired riders qualifying out of this repechage heat, because there aren't any in it. And of course, they've got plenty of riders already in the semi-final draw. Four laps to go, so the Derny will be departing from the track next time round. Sarah Johnson from the Edinburgh Road Club is the rider at the back of the line here. Emily Burgess just in front of her. Serena Nat looking over her shoulder, expecting the attacks to come from behind. Well, no one is yet taking this one up. Georgette Rand of the VC Lincoln in the pale blue colours in second place. So still the same order from which they left the line and when the Derny left the track, but now the acceleration comes right from the back from Sarah Johnson. Into the gap behind Nat, ahead of Rand.
Well, there's not quite a gap yet. She's still stuck out on the hip.
And leaving it late, but now a charge coming from Emily Burgess as well. But it's still Serena Nat on the front, who's looking to hang on to this one. Burgess found it very difficult to work her way through. She's up into second place here, but over the top comes Rand of VC Lincoln. And I think you'll find that was Nat followed by the rider from VC Lincoln, Georgette Rand. Let's wait for confirmation of that order across the line. Well, a good ride from Serena Nat. She was on the front all the way through that one, despite all kinds of things going on behind her for riders vying for position. Emily Burgess got up to second spot, but Georgia Rand was not giving up easily. Almost came together, and it was very close on the line, actually, looking at the side-on shot on our action replay. So our judge is just examining the photo finish on that one, I think, before we have a confirmed result. But both riders, first two across the line, will go through into the semi-finals. But it's always nice to get the order the right way round. Was it Rand or was it Nat who got that one?
Only 3 taking to the start line for heat number 3.
Yes, so Katie Ann Colton has withdrawn from the competition. So just Millicent Tanner, Sylvia Mistal and Anna Whitworth-Hay remain for the third and final repechage heat.
So that's Millie Tanner in position 1 there. And then we've got Sylvia Mistal and Anna Whitworth-Hay on the outside of the track.
So there's potentially an even more tactical battle with just 3 riders on the track now. Occasionally have sprint heats with 3 riders in, so it's just kind of like a sprint, but with a bit of motorbike action at the start. To get them up to speed, off we go. Rider who was obliged to drop into the slipstream of that Derny bike is Millicent Tanner of Team Inspired. Looking to add to the weight of numbers of Team Inspired riders in the semi-finals. Just one rider of these 3 will lose out in a potential ride in that semi-final. Sylvia Mistal in the middle for Glasgow Track RC. Bringing up the rear for SES Racing, Anna Whitworth-Hay. The Derny will leave the track next time round. Hear the engine note increase as the speed reaches 50 kilometers per hour. And as it leaves the track, Millicent Tanner has a slight advantage as Sylvia Mistal is busy looking at Anna Whitworth-Hay. But Tanner not really taking advantage of the opportunity to accelerate away there. Figures perhaps it's a little too early yet. So the other 2 take closer order. Still focusing very much on a potential move from Anna Whitworth-Hay. Here it comes. Mistal responds. So too does Tanner. For a moment, they were in a line there, and Sylvia Mistal almost came to grief in the middle of those 2, caught in a sandwich, but she managed to stay upright. And Millicent Tanner accelerating here with Anna Whitworth-Hay on a wheel, but Mistal is coming back at them. A good fight back here from the Glasgow Track RC rider. It's going to be a battle for second between her and Anna Whitworth-Hay, but Whitworth-Hay will just hang on to that. So Millicent Tanner takes that one from Anna Whitworth-Hay, and Sylvia Mistal in third spot.
Millie Tanner leading that one out from the front. The best place to be, out of trouble.
Yeah, always a good way to keep yourself out of trouble. Our live stream viewers will get a chance to see the replay of the closing stage of the moment where Sylvia Mistal almost got herself tangled up with Anna Whitworth-Hay. And here's the run to the line. Mistal trying to come the long way around the outside of Whitworth-Hay. Not quite enough track left to do it. So that was the order across the line. So with no necessity for a match C in the men's sprint semi-finals, both having been run in 2 straight rides, our programme will continue into our first distance race of the evening and our first final of the evening. It's the women's scratch race. So just a few moments before we start to bring our scratch race riders to the line. So 24 riders will line up for this women's scratch race final. Amongst them is the defending champion, Ella Barnwell. We had 2 qualification heats this afternoon. They're contested over half distance, so they were 20 laps. The final is over 10k, 40 laps of the track. Danny Kahn was the winner of the second heat. Lucy Glover took victory in the first. Nia Evans, the rider to look out for. She is World Points Race champion, winner of the gold medal in the individual pursuit already at these championships. She was actually the bronze medalist here last year in the women's scratch race. Ella Barnwell, the defending champion. Well, she crossed the line third in her qualification heat. And of course, she's here to try and defend that title and once again find the top step of the podium. So if this is your first time seeing scratch race action, or indeed the National Track Championships, then let me just quickly explain to you how this race works. This one is pretty straightforward, actually. It's just the first 3 riders across the line will be the winners. Assuming no one gains a lap, of course, then it gets a little bit more complicated. It's, no points or anything like that in this one. It is literally a straight race from the gun. The first 3 riders across the line for the gold, silver and bronze medals. If that lap gain situation does occur, our starter at the side of the track will point to the riders who are the head of the race, but of course it's the riders on the lead lap, even if they are in the midst of the bunch or at the back, having gained a lap, who are still the lead riders on the track, and that's where the medals will go if the race is completed at that point.
And that is the riders for the scratch race final, just making their way onto the track. So
they'll roll around for a lap. Also, I was saying slow down. The race is not on yet. We need you to all together in one big bunch. Race won't be started unless the riders are all together. This could take a while as Lowry Richards has gained an early advantage despite the fact the race is not on yet. Rest of the field being told to speed up and catch her. Hopefully we'll get them all together this time round. It's looking promising. Well, both the qualification heats were tense affairs, no one going off the front to mount an attack. That may be different here in this final, which is twice the distance. But, of course, if you gain a lap, as I mentioned, you'll be the leader on the track wherever you are relative to the rest of the riders.
And at the moment, we have Nia Evans at the front of the pack.
Stretching the field out already, one long line of riders, one or two little gaps opening up further down the field as well. That little application of speed by Nia Evans, maybe a testing move just to see who is the weak members of this 24-rider field. Nia Evans, of course, bronze medal in the scratch race last year, but she took that incredible world title in the points race in Paris last October. And I'm sure she'd like to add the British scratch race title to her list of considerable achievements. Came relatively late to the world of cycling, but really has made a big impression in the last 10 years or so. Lots of riders behind, just lining up behind Evans. They know that's one of the wheels that is a danger wheel. Ewan Roberts of Live CC Halo Films is in second place. She swings up. Nia Evans is prowling around the top of the track, staying out of the melee of riders down at the bottom. 5 laps gone already. Team Inspired starting to push riders forward. It was Jess Roberts, former national road race champion of Great Britain. She's also a European and world medalist at the scratch race as well, is Jess Roberts. And Ella Barnwell, the defending champion, notable that she was up towards the front as well. And on the front now still for Team Inspired is Grace Lister.
Lots of green in the pack tonight, Carl.
There is indeed, yes, and not all of it necessarily Tofoti Everyone Active, although that is the team with the predominantly green colours. Of course, Team Inspired with the darker green and gold. So yes, green definitely seems to be the colour of the night at the moment. Towards the back of that line is Mary Porton for Tofoti Everyone Active.
Nia Evans, when she goes to the front, seems to be picking up the pace, wanting this race to be a little faster than it's been going. Nia tends to like a tougher race. She's still in the front there. There's gaps beginning to open up behind.
Charlene, every time Nia Evans goes to the front, the race splits behind her. That's exactly what she's trying to do. She's trying to drop riders out the back, thin down the competition as we go through this race. Even in the final, it's a relatively short distance, over 40 laps of the track, so the opportunity for lap gains are relatively limited, particularly if the main field play close attention as they are doing at the moment. So no significant gaps towards the front of the race. Once again, Nia Evans saying, come on, this is a race here. I want to get some more pace into this. And she has split off 5 riders now, including herself. Still not a significant gap, and she immediately sits up. It's interesting to see whether this move will prevail. Well, it was a brief respite for Evans. She drops back down, and once again, she puts in a big turn. Now just 2 riders. This is the tactic of Nia Evans here. She is splitting this race apart. 28 laps to go. Evans at the head of the race, and the rider who has gone with her, she knows that is the wheel to follow. That's Sophie Lewis of DAS Hansling. 2 riders give chase across the gap behind. Danny Khan of St Piran Women's Racing Team in the all-black colours. Rider who started out as a sprinter, now turned her hand to endurance and road racing with good success. Signed up by the St Piran outfit down in Cornwall for the 2023 season. But the head of the race are the 2 riders coming into the finishing straight, and that is Nia Evans and Sophie Lewis.
Nia Evans now a lone rider out in front.
So back in the action here. Leading 2 riders, about to catch up with 3 back markers here. 21 laps to go, almost half distance. Well, that relentless pressure that was applied by Nia Evans has certainly fragmented this race. Mainfield just coming to the end of the back straight. Evans looks behind her. Rider who's tagged onto a wheel here is Grace Lister.
Grace Lister, actually the under-23 world champion in the Madison for junior.
Of course, a discipline in which Nia Evans has tasted considerable success, particularly with Katie Archibald. And these two are gradually leaving the rest of the race behind. They're going to sweep up some of these back markers. A large number of retirements here in the home straight as riders realise their fate. They swing off here, head of the race into the finishing straight now. And it is Nia Evans dropping into 2nd place just behind Lister. Continuing to make mincemeat of the back part of the field here. Threading their way through some more back markers. 17 laps to go. Nia Evans back on the front. 2nd wheel now is Jess Roberts, European scratch race and world scratch race medalist. Jess Roberts, former British National Road Race champion. So those 3 well established here at the front with 16 laps remaining.
If these three riders can work well together now, perhaps they could take that lap or just even stay out in front, and then they have less riders to worry about those top 3 positions for the medals.
15 laps to go. Leading 3 riders are through the line here. Past 2 more back markers. Next in line, leading the chase from the main field, is Kate Richardson from Team Inspired. But more fragmentation in that main bunch as the leading trio once again cross the line with 14 laps to go now.
Under 23 rider Kate Richardson has a big engine on her coming over from the sport of triathlon, so she's now in 2nd wheel of the chasing pairing.
Yeah, I've already seen her ride really well during the racing season on the road last year when she was riding for the Alba Development Racing Team. Be 3K to go in this women's scratch race final. And the leaders come round. They're under the scoreboard now to make the turn into the home straight with 12 laps remaining.
So it's Katie Richardson and Ailey Shaw trying to chase these top 3 riders. Only 12 laps to go now as they come round. 11 laps to go.
Well, these 3 have got almost the length of the home straight now ahead of the chase group behind, with Kate Richardson leading that one. And then next little group on the track here with Ella Barnwell, the defending champion, but Barnwell well down on the leaders at the moment. More riders being passed by our leading trio with 10 laps remaining.
They've started working well together though. These 3 on the front taking their turns when they can.
Danger, of course, for Nia Evans is that she has 2 team-inspired riders. Technically, a national championship isn't a team race, but, well, when you're outnumbered 2-1, makes life a little bit more difficult. Jess Roberts, of course, would dearly love to take this scratch race title. And so too would the other rider on the front here, Grace Lister, both from Team Inspired. So they've left pretty much the rest of the race behind. They're now entering the back straight as the main field leave it. Those chasers have been reabsorbed into the main field. 7 laps to go. The opportunity for a lap game beginning to diminish, but if these 3 latch onto the back of that group, they will be 1 lap to the good.
Everyone's going to start to think about that sprint finish now, so maybe not necessarily wanting to chase the top 3 riders. They'll be looking for placings because there's only 6 laps to go now.
Well, it's Grace Lister on the front at the moment. The group behind, I think, are resigned to their fate here. And those 3, whether they want to or not, are going to find themselves, by virtue of the speed at which they're travelling, gaining the lap. So Lister, Roberts and Evans are the leading 3 riders now. 1 lap to the good. Riders getting the red flag here being withdrawn, who are off the back. So you need to look out now for those three riders amongst this pack. They are the riders on the lead lap. Nia Evans, number 50 for Team Hub. Number 107, Grace Lister for Team Inspired. And number 153, Jess Roberts from Team Inspired. We're 4 laps away from the final sprint. And those are the three riders in contention for the medals here.
So they don't necessarily need to finish in those positions, they just need to finish in front of each other.
Yeah, they'll be watching each other very closely indeed now. And they'll want to try and get off the front and not get involved in the bunch sprinting for the minor placings. Looks like they possibly have achieved that. Here comes Nia Evans in pursuit of 2 team-inspired riders who've gone on the attack. Well, Jess Roberts a little bit further down. She's not gone into that move at the front, but Nia Evans is the rider on the lead lap and the rider on the front with 1 lap to go. There's Nia Evans riding into a gold medal finish here. Big attack though coming around the outside. She bided her time, but Jess Roberts takes on Nia Evans. But wait, here around the outside comes another attacking move from those 3 riders on the lead lap. Nia Evans and battling with Jess Roberts, but coming away and towards the line. Across first is Ella Barnwell, but she was a lap behind. So she'll finish in 4th place. And in 2nd place across the line, well, that will be Nia Evans. And that should be victory. We shall see. We'll wait for confirmation of that result. Those 3 caught the group for a lap. Grace Lister, Jess Roberts and Nia Evans. We're watching the replay here. That move by Barnwell, the defending champion. But the battle was between Roberts and Evans. Evans had the inside line. Roberts trying to come around the outside. It was ever so close on the line. Just looking back at the replay, Jess Roberts is going to take that from Nia Evans. So Jess Roberts, Nia Evans, and 3rd place will be Grace Lister. And 4th, by virtue of that sprint over the top, will be Ella Barnwell, just missing out on the medals this year. Well, that was a really exciting race, and Nia Evans, even though she's beaten into the silver medal position by Jess Roberts, was the rider pretty much responsible for animating the action in the early stages, causing that disruption in the field and making riders chase her and causing those splits in the pack. Well, great stuff. And congratulations to Jess Roberts, adding a national title in the scratch race to her impressive list of achievements. So we can now confirm that result for you. Gold medal and national champion Jess Roberts for Team Inspired. Nia Evans of Team Hub is 2nd for the silver medal. Grace Lister of Team Inspired 3rd place for the bronze medal. Ella Barnworth finishes 4th, and Ellie Shaw in 5th place across the line. So a great women's scratch final and a national championship win for Jess Roberts of Team Inspired. So we're going to move into the men's sprint finals now. Again, it's the best of 3. First on track will be the battle for the bronze medal between Matt Rotherham and Lyle Craig. Both riders just getting attached to the machinery in the track centre before being wheeled out to the line.
We have Matt Rotherham on the outside position there. Going to take the back position in this sprint. And we have Lyle Craig on the inside of the track there, who's going to lead it out.
So I started just checking both riders are good to go. Matt Rotherham, that expellation of air just before he settles over the bars, trying to unsettle his opponent. That little tactical move is a great sprinter, great showman is Matt Rotherham. Lyle Craig, I suspect, was relatively unimpressed. He's just rolled away and taken up the lead position at the moment. First half lap must be completed at walking pace or better. Just about achieving that. Slowly creeping towards the top of the track. Rotherham echoing the moves of Lyle Craig, just a little bit further behind him. Craig will be trying to keep Rotherham in the box, as we say. In other words, limit the angles of attack that are available to him. They wisely drop back down to the bottom to negotiate the banking. So Lyle keeping a very, very careful watch on Matt Rotherham. There's the man from Manchester about to pounce. Craig is not prepared to wait any longer. So Lyle Craig begins the acceleration. Matt Rotherham begins to ride up towards his wheel. 1 lap to go. Still advantage for the rider from Glasgow here. Matt Rotherham with work to do to close the gap. Lyle Craig fully committed here, but here comes the charge from Matt Rotherham. Rotherham charging down the back straight, draws level with the hip of his opponent. Can he come around the outside? Yes, he can. And you can see how pleased Matt Rotherham was to take first blood there. That fist pump as he crossed the line. Matt Rotherham speeds into a 1-match advantage over Lyle Craig.
Such a massive effort on the back straight there from Matt Rotherham to be slingshot out of that fourth banking into the final straight. Time to sprint to perfection so that he could just sit up a little bit before the line, give that fist pump. Delighted with a first win.
Well, he needs to follow it up with a second, and that will be a bronze medal. And the first medal for Matt Rotherham, the new colours of ESV Manchester, although he's actually still got his Sport City Velo skin suit at the moment. ESV Manchester, new team formed at the beginning of the year, a combination of Eastlands Velo and Sport City Velo, based at the National Cycling Centre in Manchester. So next on track, we have got our gold medal final. It's an all-team inspired battle. The riders involved here are the reigning champion and Olympic bronze medalist for the sprint, Jack Carlin. Jack will take the start this time on the outside. And his opponent, Harry Ledingham-Horn, also from Team Inspired, he will start on the inside. Well, Jack Carlin is in superb sprinting form at the moment. Incredible pace brought every time he comes onto the track. So Harry Ledingham-Horn must be wondering what he has to do here to try and prevent Jack Carlin taking another national championship and gold medal. Coaches departing from the track, taking almost everything with them, but a little bit of tidying up. There we go. Jason Kenny, you probably recognise, now working as a coach of the Great Britain cycling team in the sprint squad. World and Olympic champion. Meanwhile, this battle between Carlin and Ledingham Horn is being played out in slow motion at the moment in the back straight. Carlin, the stockier figure of the two, currently in second spot. Harry Ledingham Horn knows that Jack Carlin likes to ride into a gap left behind his opponent, so he's trying to limit the angles at which Carlin can do that. A rider with the power of Carlin, though, it's very hard to keep in the box. Carlin begins to accelerate now as they go down the back straight. Ledingham Horn stays at the bottom of the track. Now he comes to try and stop Carlin diving underneath into the sprinter's line. Instead, he decides he's going to go for that one himself. Ledingham Horn taking a long one here. Carlin begins to close down. Jack Carlin powering down the back straight. The defending champion draws level with his teammate with quarter of a lap to go into the finishing straight. Oh, that was close. That was close. But Jack Carlin, I think, just got his wheel in front. Not quite as decisive as maybe we and Carlin would have thought, because Harry Ledingham Horn certainly turned up the power in that final run to the line.
That was almost a flying 200 line there from Jack Carlin. He knows he's the fastest at that one after the qualifying this morning.
Yeah, but just snuck home there. Be interesting to see a photo finish image of that passage of the line. Confirmed result on the board for you. Jack Carlin did get it. Our live stream viewers being treated to an action replay of this one. Carlin coming round the outside as they come off the banking. They were shoulder to shoulder as a corner 4. Ledingham Horn then just gained a little advantage going down the home straight, but at the end of that, I would say it's about half a wheel ahead for Jack Carlin as they went across the line. So one up for the defending champion. That battle will continue. So we're going to return to action in the women's keirin. We're at the semi-final stage now. There are 2 heats, each containing 6 riders. From each heat, the first 3 across the line will go into the ride for first through to 6th place, which of course contains the medal positions 1, 2 and 3. And the losing 3 riders from each semi-final heat will go into the ride-off for places 7 through to 12. Which is known in cycling terminology as the minor final. Our track centre official just collecting in his playing cards, having asked the riders to draw for their starting positions. And they'll now come out to the track, line up in that drawn order and ready themselves for 6 laps of full-on racing in the women's keirin semi-final heat 1. So we have Katie Marchant, we have Lauren Bell, and we have Lowry Thomas, and we have Blaine Ridge Davis all riding for Team Inspired. So 4 of the 6 are Team Inspired riders. Emily Burgess of SES Racing and Sylvia Mistal of Glasgow Track RC make up the rest. Well, I can see 5 riders at the trackside at the moment. Work out who we're missing in a moment. Larry Thomas comes to the line. At the bottom we have Lauren Bell. In the gap we have Katie Marchant. So the absentee at the moment appears to be Blaine Ridge Davis. So making up the rest of the lineup here, just 5 riders taking the start. Sylvia Mistal and the Glasgow track cycling rider, and also the rider there for VC Lincoln, Georgette Rand.
So the top 3 of this race will go through to the major final for the medals.
I can only assume that Blaine Ridge-Davis must have withdrawn from the competition. She's certainly on our start list, but as you can see, just 5 riders on the track. So it's Marchant, Bell and Thomas to fight this one out for Team Inspired. And Sylvia Mistal and Georgette Rand bringing up the rearmost 2 positions.
One more lap till the Derny peels off. Riders still in formation and not looking around yet. Little gaps starting to appear, which tends to be normal.
Well, look over the shoulder here from Katie Marchant, who finds herself at the front. But coming from right behind and lifting the pace is Georgette Rand of VC Lincoln. Trying to spoil the Team Inspired party here at the front, but the Team Inspired riders respond by lifting the pace. We have got Marchant and Lowry Thomas in positions 1 and 2. Lauren Bell just now up into 3rd place. Then Sylvia Mistal having a battle here with Georgette Rand.
Katie Marchant still at the front.
And at the bell, it is going to be Lauren Bell who's trying to come around the outside. Marchant and Bell under the scoreboard they come into the finishing straight. Top 3 to go through into the major final. That is going to be first rider across the line, Katie Marchant. So 1, 2, 3 for Team Inspired to go into that major final. So just looking at the action replay here, as Katie Marchant and Lowry Thomas fighting hard here. A little look over at who is who, and Lauren Bell across the line in first spot. Lauren Bell, Katie Marchant, Lowry Thomas. The order, the first 3, Sylvia Mistal and Georgette Rand will go into the minor final.
In this next heat, we have Emma Finucane from Team Inspired, Sophie Capewell, Team Inspired, Ellie Stone from Black Line, Serena Nat from the Wales Racing Academy, Iona Moyer from Team Inspired, and Millie Tanner from Team Inspired. So 4 Team Inspired riders on the track. Let's see how we can tell them apart, Carl.
Well, just think ahead, already 3 into the major final. If 3 qualify from this heat as well, that'll be an all-Team Inspired final with 6 riders on the track. That'll be certainly interesting to pick the difference between them then. There has to be a defining feature other than the number, but even Team Inspired might run out of different things to identify the riders. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Need to find out the results of this second semi-final heat first of all. Just a little rejigging of the order here to make sure everyone is in the correct position on the start line. Ellie Stone, she is the defending champion, just being slotted in just below the Wales Racing Academy jersey of Serena Nat. Rider on the outside of them all here is Sophie Capewell. So, starter just going to go down the line, make sure everybody is good to go. Barely imperceptible nod, says yes, let's bring it on. Emma Finnecane, already, of course, sprint champion here. Sophie Capel taking the silver medal. Away from the line we go. Riders dropping into regulation order behind the Derny. Well, the rider with a somewhat crushed number on the spectator side, and indeed commentator side, is number 53, the sprint champion Emma Finnecane. She's at the front at the moment, the rider on the wheel of the Derny.
We also have Ellie Stone, the reigning champion, in this lineup. She is in black.
Yep, she's in 4th spot, the black line rider, just ahead of Serena Nat. And Sophie Capel bringing up the rear.
Ellie Stone just leaving a slight gap there, allowing herself room to manoeuvre around if she needs to.
So away goes the Derny, and pace being lifted here by Emma Finnecane, the sprint champion on the front. Millicent Tanner was in second wheel when the Derny departed from the track. Defending champion Ellie Stone in that black jersey in 3rd place. 2 laps to go. The acceleration coming around the outside here now from Iona Moore. And here comes Serena Nat. She's taking Sophie Capel on her wheel. And Ellie Stone has been pushed out of that one. The defending champion finds herself at the back with a lap to go. Finnecane redoubles her efforts at the front. 3 team-inspired riders go clear. Ellie Stone chasing hard to get back into contention. Defending champion is out of the medal positions at the moment. Can she get round the team-inspired trio? No, she can't. Well, that was a very, very close finish indeed. Team-inspired, though, look as though what we suggested might happen has happened, and it's going to be an all-team-inspired major final for the keirin. Emma Finnecane is well placed across line. Again, our live stream viewers will be able to watch the action replay here of this battle. Ellie Stone found herself in the wrong place at the wrong time and had to fight back from right behind. Defending champion was unable to get up in time to challenge for a place in the major final.
When the riders are going at that kind of speed and trying to manoeuvre in and out of the spaces that aren't really there, which you have to gamble sometimes. Sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't.
So the result of semi-final 2, Emma Finnecane was first across line ahead of Sophie Capel and Millicent Tanner. Those 3 go into the major final. Ellie Stone, Serena Nat and Iona Moore will go into the minor final, where they will join Sylvia Mistel, I should say, and Georgette Rand. The rest of the major final lineup, in addition to Finnecane, Capel and Tanner, will be Lauren Bell, Katie Marchant and Lowry Thomas. So the longest event on track of these championships is about to be played out for you here. It's the men's points race final. Over 30 kilometres, 120 laps of the track with 12 sprints. Those sprints coming every 10 laps. 5, 3, 2 and 1 point. So the first 4 riders across the line. On the final lap, double points rewarded, 10, 6, 4 and 2. Any rider or riders who gain a lap on the main field will be credited with a 20-point bonus, and riders losing a lap will lose 20 points. The quality of points on the final sprint. It's the best placed rider in that final sprint who will take the decision. That's the way the point race works. Keep your eye very much on the gentleman in the home straight, toting the gun at the moment. He's our starter, Phil Pollard. He will also be pointing at the riders who are the head of the race. So he'll point each time the race goes past to those riders who are actually in the lead on the track at that moment. And those riders will be the ones where the points go when we come to sprint laps. So 24 riders to take the start. Title was won by Joshua Tarling last year. He doesn't take the start. Neither does the silver or bronze medalist. It was Oscar Nielsen-Julian for silver and John Archibald for the bronze 12 months ago. So a couple of very competitive heats earlier in the day over a shorter distance of 60 laps. Big entry for this event. We had to dispatch 21 riders from the starting lineup to give us our 24-up final. And all 24 riders now ready to be brought out onto the track for this men's points race final. So the starting lineup, at least the top part of it, shown on the big screen here in the venue. And we should see information on the points standings as the race unfolds. Rolling lap, assuming our starter is happy that they're all together, then he will fire the gun to get the race underway this time round. Away we go.
Well, there's a couple of different tactics for this race. You can go for the sprints, or you can try to get the lap. You can try to get all the points. You can try to get the points on the way to getting the lap as well. Sometimes riders are left out in front of the race for multiple, sometimes 20 laps. So they can be cleaning up on the points before they actually take that lap and get the full 20. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of exciting racing tonight.
Certainly will be. It's a little bit harder on a track of 250 metres to take a lap if you're a keen follower of six-day racing. It's like the Ghent 6 run on smaller tracks. Lap gains happen virtually at will. Here it's a much more concerted effort to gain it. And a good time to do that is immediately following a sprint. Quite often the field will sprint for the points and then sit up. And if a rider can sneak off the front, it may take a few moments before the realisation that he's made the move has happened. And that can play into the hands of a rider trying to gain a lap and score those 20 points for a lap gain. 5 away from the first sprint. Each sprint lap will be denoted by the sounding of a bell with 1 lap to go. Josh Tarling, our winner last year. Finlay Tarling's brother is riding number 174 for the Wilbrot Vilverhut team. It's one way to pronounce it anyway. May not be correct, but there you go. So the riders lined out here with 4 laps to go to the sprint. Rider on the front there, Archie Fletcher of Innovation Racing. Rider who's been winning points races at will, the Manchester Regional Track League racing at the National Cycling Centre over recent weeks to propel himself to the top of that Track League leaderboard. Now here he is on the national stage. Bringing up the rear is Will Tidball of St Piran. They've also got Jack Rootkin-Gray in here as well, number 155. Jack Rootkin-Gray, another rider who joined St Piran during the middle part of last year. And what a great close to the road season he had, taking 2nd place. And it may well have been a win had he not punctured at the start of the final lap of the Rydale Grand Prix. And then he made amends about a month or so later when he came out the winner of the Beaumont Trophy. So Jack Rootkin-Gray from road to track for St Piran. will be looking to get in amongst the mix for the point scoring as well. As the bell sounds, it's Finlay Tarling who comes to the front. Little gap here for Tarling. Going to try and capitalise on the advantage to take a 5-point score in the opening sprint. It's always good to get your name on the scoreboard in a point race. Tarling is being pursued hard and fast by the rest of the field, but it looked like Will Salter from Nexo Group Racing Team who got up there into second place to pick up the 3 points. That acceleration has lined the field out, but no one has been dislodged from the back as yet. No one allowed to go off the front either. 109 laps to go.
It's always nice to secure some points at the start of the race. However, if an attack goes after those points, it's always difficult to recover and try to stay on those moves.
So it's 5 points for Finlay Tarling. It was 3 for Will Salter. It was 2 for Will Roberts and 1 for Ben Wiggins in the opening sprint. Once again, pressure being applied at the front of the main field. That looks like Callum 12 of Team Oten AVS swinging off the front. Noah Hobbs there for Groupama FDJ La Conti. 6 away from the second sprint. Pace has eased a little bit from that charge for the line, so no one at the moment looking to try and provoke an attacking move for a lap gain. Tim Shulman comes to the front briefly for wheelbase Cabtech Castelli. And the Fensham House MAS Design jersey. Matthew Brennan and Ben Wiggins both riding for that team. Second wheel there is Noah Hobbs, we mentioned a few moments ago, in his Groupama FDJ colours. So still altogether one long line of riders, 104 laps to go. Will Salter coming up once more towards the front of the race. He took second place in the opening sprint. Sure, I'd like to add some more points. Field has slowed a little, hence the fact they're occupying the full width of the track coming out of corner 4. So Matthew Brennan decides this might be an opportunity to have a little look at the front. His teammate Ben Wiggins is just a little bit lower down the track and a place or so behind him. But again, that move has come to no particular outcome as 2 laps to go to the sprint, the field being very watchful indeed. Bit of bell this time. 4 riders trying to come over the top of the bunch here. There is the bell, and that group beginning to try and pull away here. This is David Bolland for the Army CU, being challenged on his inside and on his outside as well. Bolland getting swept away here in the melee at the front. Round the corner we come. 100 lap sprint will be taken on the line by Ross Birrell of With Sungard. So Ross Birrell opens his points scoring account with 5 in the second of the sprints here.
Will Perrott also for Cheney Windows and Doors Cycling.
Yeah, he was second, and Josh Giddings third, and 4th place went to Jed Smithson of Fensham House MS Design. So that means that 2 riders now on 5 points. Finlay Tarling winner of the first sprint, and Ross Birrell winner of the second sprint. Little attacking move here from Fensham MAS Design.
Matthew Brennan ahead, got a little gap there.
97 to go. Little look over the shoulder for Brennan. It reveals that Ben Marsh of BCC Race Team is the man immediately behind him. Will Perrott is up to third with 3 points, along with Will Salter. 2 points for Josh Giddings, 2 for Will Roberts, 1 each for Jed Smithson and Ben Wiggins. Those are the only riders scoring points so far. Next on the agenda will be the 90 lap to go sprint. We're 5 laps away from that.
The pace of this race looks pretty high, which is going to make it really difficult for riders to get away from the field. It looks like a lot of the riders keeping the pace high so that it comes down to sprints every 10 laps.
Of course, a long race, this one, the longest of these championships. So as we go further and deeper into the action, fatigue will begin to be a little bit of a factor for some of the riders who are not accustomed to riding over this kind of distance at this pace on the track. And of course, we have got the cream of our point race riders selected from the qualification rounds this morning. So, of Could well be that this field will stay pretty much locked together for the majority of this race, just moving forward to gain the points and then dropping back into line. 3 laps away from the next point scoring opportunity, and that's Ben Wiggins, and he's opening up a little advantage here on the front, looking over his shoulder, thinking whether to commit to this move or not. Still 2 to go to the sprint. Swings up, waits for the rest of the field to come up to him, and those 2 riders are brought back once again. The rider who went with him there was Keirin Riley of Spelman Dublin Port Track Team. It's the old 1-2 though for Fensham House, because they're now throwing riders forward once more with just 1 lap to go to the next sprint. At the bell, it is Ben Wiggins, who is making a run here, being challenged hard though as they go down the back straight. It's Tim Shorman for Wheelbase Captec Castelli up there as well in second spot. Wiggins trying to hold him off. Here they come towards the line. Maximum points for Wiggins. I think just sneaking into a cheeky second spot though was Jed Smithson from Frensham House. He just came through around the outside and denied Tim Shorman on the line. So Ben Wiggins adding to the 1 point he had already. We'll confirm that sprint results as soon as it comes up on our screen here in the commentary box. But that will move Ben Wiggins up the standings. So Wiggins for 5. Jed Smithson did indeed deny Shorman for the second place. So Smithson gets 3, Shorman gets 2, and Will Tidball for 1 place. 1 point, I should say, in 4th place. So Ben Wiggins now is our leader by 1 point from Russ Birrell, with Finlay Tarling and Jed Smithson next in line. In 4th and 5th place, Will Perrott, and then Will Salter. This field's still all together, and 87 laps to go.
And you can really tell the pace of the pack as they come round and the line is strung out. When you start to see riders lingering on the blue, that is when you know the pace has slowed down a little bit.
Will Salter just having a little look at the front of that group as well before dropping back into the pack. 5 away from the next sprint. Josh Giddings has been thereabouts a couple of times as well. He's the rider in the distinctive colours of the Lotto DTSNY team. About the middle of the pack at the moment, the red shoulders on top of the blue jersey. 1 kilometre to go to the next sprint. Looking down from the top of the track is Noah Hobbs of Groupama FDJ. Three to go to the next sprint. Again, the pace begins to build in anticipation of the points on offer. And that is Jack Root King Gray, rider for the St Piran team, has gone off the front here.
It's almost like a dummy there. I'm going to go. No, you're coming back. Oh, yeah. And we're going again. He's got a big gap there.
He's got the gap, and well, Fensham House in 2nd and 3rd place here, with the Lotto DTSNY rider Josh Giddings just behind that. 1 lap to go. Can Jack Root King Gray hold on here? Fully committed to this one. Chase being led by Ben Wiggins. Wiggins the current leader by 1 point ahead of Ross Birrell. Can Jack Root King Gray hold on? Here comes the charge from Josh Giddings, trying to get across the wheel of Root King Gray and deny him maximum points. In fact, Giddings takes the 5. Root King Gray will get 3. This could be a point where the attack could continue to try and break riders off the front of that pack with a possibility of a lap gain, but the main field quick to respond once more. Still fully lined out, 79 laps to go. So Josh Giddings for 5, Jack Root King Gray for 3, Jed Smithson for 2, and Will Tidball again picks up a single point in 4th place. So Giddings now at the top of the table with a 1 point advantage. He has 7, Jed Smithson has 6 along with Ben Wiggins. 5 points for Ross Birrell, 5 for Finlay Tarling. So again, the front of the field lined out here, still 7 to go to the sprint, so this is a real serious effort to try and split this field apart. Jack Bruffer, Team Inspired, one of the instigators of that move. 9 riders in that leading group. Not a big gap, but maybe a sign of things to come. 76 laps to go. Ben Wiggins leads the chase group behind, but this leading group are beginning to build their advantage. That's a big group to go away.
Will Perrett on the front of that leading group. No one wanting to do the effort at the front.
Well, the problem in a group of that size, if one or two riders stop contributing to the pacemaking, it could all fall apart and they could find themselves being swept up once more by the main field. And I think is what is going to happen unless someone reinvigorates that move. More riders trying to bridge across here from the main field. A three-rider chasing group in the gap between the leaders and the main field. 73 laps to go. Rider on the front of the lead group is Noah Hobbs from Groupama FDJ. The three chasers are going to get across to that. So too, more riders from the main field. So a concertina effect almost has seen that lead group brought back into the fold as the rest of the main field will latch onto the back pretty much now. And with 2 laps to go to the sprint, looks as though Will Gilbank of Lee Valley Youth Cycling Club is struggling a little bit with the pace there. Trying hard to get back into contention. They'll be hoping the field slows down. That's what they've done, but not for long because the sprint is upcoming. Will Perrett, Cheney Winders and Doors Cycling, the rider in the white, begins to apply the pressure once more. Perrett is lying 6th at the moment with 3 points on the board. Can he add 5 more? Being pressed hard to the line by Noah Hobbs, but Perrett will prevail and get the 5 points.
This is it. This is an attack now off the front just after the sprint, like you said, was going to happen, Carl.
Yeah, it's a good time to go. You catch the main field looking at each other and sitting up after the effort of trying to pick up the sprint points. And you can sneak away, and until the main field realise the danger, you can gain significant ground. 3 riders are trying to do exactly that here on the front of the race.
That was absolutely great timing, but the bunch are chasing hard. They do still have a quarter of a lap lead, though.
It's Jack Bruffett, Josh Charlton and Callum 12s, the leading 3 riders here. Let me just round up that last sprint for you. Will Perrett for 5, Hobbs for 3, Tidball for 2 and 12s for 1 point. So Will Perrett now our leader by 1 point from Josh Giddings. Jed Smithson third on 6. This is not a high scoring race at the moment. 66 laps to go and the leader has only 8 points on the board. A note of how many riders have picked up points so far in the sprints, but our leading group of 3 have got 2 back markers in their sights here.
If these 3 riders can start to work efficiently together, they might be on for taking that lap.
It looks like Keirin Riley and Anthony Morris are going to be passed by those 3 leading riders. When they're caught by the main field, they'll be deemed to have lost a lap. Leaders through with relative ease. Jack Bruff in the green colours in the middle of these 3 riders. Josh Charlton for St Piran is there as well. And the other member of this lead trio is Callum 12s from Team Oten Avius. Continuing to work well together. And the main field, a little bit of disarray at the moment. And while that's happening, these 3 are continuing to make hay at the front and gaining ground towards the lap gain. They're not going to do it before the next sprint, but they'll sit off anyway and pick up the sprint points. And then if the lap's there for the taking, they will have it. 62 laps to go, it'll be 61 next time round for the leaders and 1 lap to go to the sprint.
This is where the 3 riders who are out in front, just looking at the back of that race, will be wanting to just lay off and get those points and then make the junction once the sprint has been in the main bunch.
Maybe a requirement for a little backpedaling amongst these 3 because they're making good progress towards the back of that main field. They'll just lay off though for the maximum points. That will be taken by Josh Charlton, and as soon as that sprint completed, they latch onto the back and those 3 riders gain a lap. 20 points to the credit of Jack Bruff for Team Inspired, Josh Charlton for St Piran and Callum 12s of Team Oten Avius. So that'll change the whole complexion of the top of the leaderboard.
Will Perrett now launching an attack off the front of the bunch. He does have a significant lead there with a gap opening, no one wanting to chase.
Yep, several splits developed behind as well with the pressure applied by Perrett. But again, I don't think it's a move that will stay. They're just shedding riders out the back under the pressure that's being applied. But that move by those 3 riders who gained the lap, taken at just the right moment. So the top of the leaderboard now, Josh Charlton is your leader on 25 points. Jack Brough on 23, along with Callum 12. Those 3 riders, the riders on the lead lap, 1 lap up, and that 20-point bonus added to their score. Will Perrett, next best place of those riders who've not yet gained a lap. He's on 8 points, 1 ahead of Josh Giddings on 7, and Jed Smithson on 6 points, along with Ben Wiggins, and 5 points for Ross Birrell. That's the way it looks with 55 laps to go. Head of the race are the 4 riders in the home straight on the attack. Will Perrett is trying to close them down. Again, more fractures along the length of this main field. There's no relenting in the full-on pace this race is being run at. Makes it very hard to get away, and makes it even more impressive that Jack Brough, Josh Charlton and Callum 12 managed to gain that lap. 3 away now from the next sprint. A couple more riders distanced off the back. Looks like a bit of a struggle here for Matthew Brennan as well, for Fensham House, but he's safely back into the rear of the main field. Leaders just about to come back into the fold. And William Gilbank, one of the riders who was off the back earlier, as the next attacking move begins to develop here. 4 riders start to pick up a small advantage. 1 lap to go to the 50-lap sprint. Tall figure of Josh Giddings from Lotto DTS and Y is trying to close that gap down on the leading group, but coming over the top and looking for 5 points on the line here. 4 riders, these will tie up the points. And the man who goes across the line first is Will Tidball. Tidball for the team of St Piran in the black colours. Just behind him, picking up 2nd place in that sprint, was Sam Fisher from Annexo Group RT. And it was Will Roberts and Ben Wiggins. So Roberts and Wiggins, who've missed out on a couple of sprint point scores in recent times, move up the table further down below those riders on the top of the leaderboard. Josh Charlton, Jack Brough and Callum 12s. None benefiting from points in that sprint, but so their positions remain unchanged at 25 points for Charlton, 23 each for Brough and 12s. Tidball moves up to 4th place, 9 points he has.
And there's 47 laps to go, so lots can still happen. And we have just seen Will Perrett launch a beautiful attack off the front. Absolutely no one is wanting to chase here. He's already got almost half a lap on the field.
Well, Will Perrett, a real danger man here. He's lying 5th on 8 points. If he gets to 20 points for the lap gain, he'll go to the top of the table. Josh Charlton only has 25. Perrett's not there yet, though, of course, but the main field have let him go. Half a lap advantage for the rider here at the head of the race. Can he get on to this group before the sprint? I don't think so. He'll probably hang off just like we saw earlier before the lap gain is made. There's a kilometre to go to the sprint this time, and Will Perrett for Cheney Windows and Doors Cycling is the lone leader. He's got the back of the main field in his sight as he goes down the back straight. On the front of this group, one of the riders who gained the lap earlier, Jack Brough of Team Inspired, tries to go clear, but Perrett is the head of the race. Getting closer and closer to that lap gain. Will he hang off for the 5 points? Will he take the opportunity to get the lap while he can and snatch the 20? He'll have 42 laps to go. There he goes. Main field have slowed a little, making it harder for Perrett because he'll have to slow down, and that's exactly what he's done. Will Perrett wants the guarantee of 5 points in the next sprint, and has the confidence that he'll be able to go across and gain the lap, but 4 riders break away off the front of the main field. They'll be fighting for a 2nd, 3rd and 4th place in the sprint. Perrett, though, is your head of the race, the man who'll pick up 5 points on the line this time. Again, just making sure he doesn't make contact and gain the lap before the sprint line, so he gets 5. Next 4 riders on the track become the head of the race. Perrett latches onto the back of a split at the rear of the main field. So second across the line in that sprint was Will Tidball of St Piran. Another rider who's been distant here is Matthew Brennan. Second time Brennan's been off the back. Fought back into contention a little while ago, but in the meantime, Will Perrott took maximum points in the sprint and has gained of the lap, so he goes to the top of the leaderboard. And he's got an 8-point advantage there. Josh Charlton down to second place now on 25. Jack Brough on 23, along with Callum 12s. Will Tidball, the only other rider in double figures, 12 points his score. 37 laps to go in this great battle for the national title in the men's points race final. 4 leading riders at the head of the race with 36 laps remaining.
Well, again, if you can get working together in the group of 4, then your work's going to be spread and you're going to efficiently, hopefully, stay out in front as long as possible, gain some points, and then maybe even a lap.
Little split at the front of the main field in pursuit of these riders. And foremost amongst them, Will Tidball, who is lying 5th on 12 points. So he's looking for the lap gain as well. If he got it, that will put him up to 1 point behind Will Perrott. 34 laps to go. Ben Wiggins looks behind, see what's happening. As the leading 4 riders catch and pass Matthew Brennan. Attacking move here, and it looks like Perrott is on the move again, the rider in white. He has realised the danger further up the track. Wants to get on terms with those 4 riders, doesn't want to allow them to gain the lap. Can snatch a point in the next sprint or 2 as well. He'll be happy with that. So Perrott is absolutely dominating the middle part of this points race final. On the back of that group of leading riders, there is Jack Rootkin-Gray as well with the blue helmet, but Perrott gets across the leaders, so the 4 become 5. The danger is over for the moment for the race leader, Will Perrott. And we're just 1 lap away from the sprint at 30 laps to go. Chasing from the main field, that's Elliot Rowe from the Nexo Group RT. Rootkin-Gray has lost contact, so 3 riders now battling out for the points on the line this time. Little look behind, it's going to be Tidball first across the line ahead of Finlay Tarling and Will Perrott. The odd point collected there by the rider in the green as he went across the line for an Nexo Group RT. So Tidball for 5, Tarling for 3, Perrott for 2, and Jack Rootkin-Gray picking up 1 point. So Will Perrott adds 2 more points to his score. He's now on 35 points, 10 ahead of Josh Charlton. 28 laps to go, 4 riders at the head of the race. Well, the 4 become 3. Tidball and Perrott find themselves on their own now. 7 away from the next sprint. Will Tidball looks over his shoulder. I think he and Will Perrott have realised there may well be another lap for the taking here. Split in the midst of the main field. In fact, 3 distinct groups now make up the main field. 26 laps to go, leading 2 riders into the home straight. So Will Tidball is lying 5th with 17 points, and his breakaway companion Will Perrott is at the top of the table with 35. 5 laps away from the 20-lap sprint. Leading 2 riders through the line. Main field regroup once again under the scoreboard. Let's look at the advantage of our leaders. It's almost half a lap.
And the bunch is slowing up now. This is going to play advantage to our 2 lone riders out the front, trying to gain that lap. All the tired legs in that bunch.
Well, they're running out of opportunity to make amends for this. If Will Perrott gains a 2nd lap, it'll be game over for the gold medal. Will Tidball knows that that's the wheel to stay with. Main field, well, they're slumbering at the moment, 3 laps away from the next sprint. Perrott and Tidball are in the frame to take 1st and 2nd place in that sprint. Little attack at the front of the main field splits two riders off, but here come the two leading riders just out of corner 2, entering the back straight as the main field exited at corner 3. 2 laps away from the sprint. On the charge are Ben Wiggins and Will Roberts. They'll be in 3rd and 4th place on the track at the moment. Will Tidball looks relaxed with his arms draped over the handlebars, going through the line there. 1 lap to go to the sprint. The riders will contest maximum points here. Will Perrett pulls clear of Tidball. He'll make sure he doesn't gain the lap once again until the sprint. He'll get 5 points, and now he will. Will Perrett gains his 2nd lap of the race. Will Tidball gains his 1st. Head of the race now are Ben Wiggins and Will Roberts at corner 2. And Jack Bruff accelerates again. He was one of the riders who gained the lap in the early stage of the race, but he's seen his medal-winning opportunity slip away. 60 points for Will Perrett, 40 points for Will Tidball, 25 for Josh Charlton. 2 sprints remain, a total of 15 points available in sprints. If you win both of them, 10 for the final sprint, and of course 5 for the 10-lap-to-go sprint. That's not enough for Tidball to catch Perrett. It's not enough for Charlton to catch Tidball. The bronze medal, though, still very much in play here. That's why Jack Bruff went on the front and lifted the pace. Bruff just 2 points behind Charlton in 4th place at the moment. So it's Ben Wiggins and Will Roberts, the head of the race. 16 laps, 4 kilometres to go. There is Jack Bruff up into 3rd place, leading the charge in the main field. This furious pace has once again dislodged Matthew Brennan. He's already a lap or 2 behind. No sign of Roberts or Wiggins slowing down. No sign of Bruff conceding the chase here either. And the man who's monitoring affairs from on high is our current leader with that 20-point advantage. Will Perrett, a man from Cheney Windows and Doors Cycling. The only riders to have gained 2 laps in this race so far.
Well, the 2 riders out in front are they've still got a considerable gap there, and no one's really wanting to chase, so
13 to go, and it looks like the leaders could be drawn back in by the peloton here. The man in 3rd place on the track at the moment is actually a lapped rider, Matthew Brennan, being caught and passed by the leaders. When the main field catch him, he'll go another lap behind. 3k to go, 12 laps remain. Will Perrett, 60 points. Will Tidball, 40 points. Josh Charlton, 25. Jack Bruff, 23. Callum 12's 23. Finlay Tarling, 10 points. That's how it stands with 2 sprints to go. We're 1 away from the penultimate sprint. It is still Wiggins and Roberts on the front. Well, not going to chase them down is Jed Smithson. It's his teammate Ben Wiggins to pick up maximum points. Wiggins is in 7th place with 9 points on the board. So little challenge here. Will Roberts sneaks maximum points from Ben Wiggins. 3rd place across the line, also taken by Smithson there for Fancham House MAS Design. The leaders are caught, all back together. 9 laps to go. So Will Roberts for 5, Ben Wiggins for 3, Jed Smithson for 2, Will Tarling for 1 point. That means Will Perrett, with a 20-point lead, cannot now be beaten unless someone takes a lap in the final 8. That is one of the most unlikely scenarios possible, given the speed the bunch are going at. The riders here resigned to the fact the battle is going to be for the bronze medal position between Josh Charlton, Jack Bruff and Callum 12's. Ben Wiggins not quite with enough points. Even if he won the final sprint with 10, it'd only take him up to 22. Will Perrett, well, he really wants to seal this race by taking the final sprint as well, doesn't he? He's up here on the wheel of Jack Rootkin-Gray. 7 laps to go. Main field looking at each other. That battle for the bronze medal being played out. It's Jack Rootkin-Gray and Will Perrett, the head of the race. Perrett, as if he needed more points. Well, if you're going to win, why not win in a dominating fashion? The only rider to gain 2 laps. He wants points in the final sprint as well. He's riding away from Jack Rootkin-Gray. Well, what a consummate display of points race riding for Will Perrett here. He has absolutely dominated this race, and he's riding away on his own. 4 victory laps for Will Perrett. Can he gain another lap in the final 4? I said it'd be very difficult to do, but the main field, they're disinterested now. Will Perrett, though, really wants to turn the screw. Here he comes. Will Perrett chasing hard. 3 laps to go. Main field, well, they are rolling into the back straight, but here comes Will Perrett. 3 lap gains for the man from Cheney Windows and Doors Cycling. Well, no doubt whatsoever now who is the national champion of the points race. What a dominating performance from Perrett, but look out for the battle behind for the minor places. Will Tidball should be safe in second with 40, but Josh Charlton, Jack Brough and Callum Twirls will be fighting for the bronze medal. 2 laps to go. Well, we told you this would be a treat, and what a great points race it has been. Not over with yet. The battle for the bronze medal beginning to unfold. Jack Brough in the middle of this group chasing here. 1 lap to go. Will Tidball, he's looking to secure his second place by grabbing the 10 points on the line. Jack Rukin-Gray is actually the head of the race here. So Tidball is second spot. Rukin-Gray looking for 10 points as he comes round towards the finish line. 10 points for Jack Rukin-Gray. Oh, that was close on the line for second. It looked as though Noah Hobbs came through. But ladies and gentlemen here in Newport Velodrome, put your hands together, get on your feet and congratulate your national champion and gold medal winner. Absolutely dominating the men's point race final. Victory, gold medal, national champion is Will Perrett.
Well, that was an incredible points race. Absolutely phenomenal riding there by Will Perrett. Just off a tough training block, and you can tell it's done good for the legs. Might be tired, but really strong out there.
Well, I thought I said with a degree of confidence no one's going to gain a lap in the final 4, but of course Will Perrett proved us wrong. His 3rd lap gain. Just to tidy up that final sprint for you, Jack Rukin-Gray got the 10, Noah Hobbs got 6, and Will Tidball got 4, and Marsh got the 2 points. So all important medal positions. Let me tell you that the winner of the race with a total of 80 points is Will Perrett from Cheney Windows and Doors Cycling. Second place with 44 points scored is Will Tidball for St Piran. And in 3rd place, taking the bronze medal with 25 points, is Josh Charlton, also for St Piran. What a great race for the team from down there in Cornwall. Well, they got a gold medal last night with Charlie Tanfield. They've got silver and bronze in the points race with Will Tidball and Josh Charlton. But Will Perrett comes to a halt on the line, raises his bike aloft, acknowledging the great support he got here. And what an incredible ride that was. Will Perrett, your national champion for the men's points race. So for those watching on our live stream, there is confirmation of that result of the men's points race final. 120 action-packed laps of the Geraint Thomas National Velodrome of Wales. Well, get our breath back, ready for more action in the men's sprint, up and coming next, the Match B stage in this one. So the sprinters beginning to prepare themselves down at trackside, ready for the Match B battle. Matt Rotherham and Lyle Craig feature in the first one. Jack Collin and Harry Lettingham Horn in the gold and silver medal final Match B. Still to come during the course of our racing programme here today on this Saturday at the British Cycling National Track Cycling Championships here at the Newport Velodrome. Well, of course, we've just seen a scintillating point race final. A victory ceremony for that will be upcoming, along with the victory ceremony for the women's scratch race that we saw a little bit earlier. Men's sprint yet to be decided, so too the women's keirin finals, which will be our final competitive action on the track. And of course, we'll bring you both of those victory ceremonies as well. So our sprint riders come out onto trackside. First to arrive is Matt Rotherham of the ESV Manchester team. Matt overcame Lyle Craig from Glasgow Track RC in their first match. If he can take this one, he will be the winner of the bronze medal. Let's see if Lyle Craig has got any answer to the pace of Rotherham. Rider from the Glasgow Track RC. Rotherham is on the inside, so he's obliged to lead away from the line for at least the first half lap. Unless, of course, Lyle Craig decides to take this one on from the front. He'd be wondering whether trying to go for a long one might be a way of unsettling Matt Rotherham, but Rotherham is a rider who is able to maintain his speed over quite a considerable distance.
We've seen great tactics from Lyle Craig from Glasgow Track Racing Club, so we'll see if he can outwit Matt Rotherham, who is one up to make it even. So Rotherham with that lead position, no hanging around here, no finessing in this opening lap, straight down to business. Rotherham out of the saddle. So Lyle Craig can't allow Matt Rotherham too much ground here. Rotherham looking over the wrong shoulder, as it turned out. Now looks the right way and sees Lyle Craig beginning to close down on him. Through the bell they go. Rotherham fighting the bike to get the maximum acceleration there. It's not pretty, but it's effective, and he's holding off Lyle Craig. Here comes Matt Rotherham speeding towards the line. Is he going to take the bronze medal? Oh, yes, he is. Matt Rotherham, in 2 straight rides, is the winner of the men's sprint bronze medal. And in case you hadn't noticed, he's pretty pleased about that. Well done to Lyle Craig. He put up a strong fight, but outpaced by Matt Rotherham. Rotherham with those incredibly powerful thigh muscles, twitching hard down the back straight there to maintain his advantage and to build on it. So from bronze medal action, we turn our attention to gold and silver. Jack Collin takes on Harry Lettingham Horn. Collin took the first one, but not by very much, Charlene, so he'll have to be perhaps a little bit more watchful of the pace of Harry Lettingham Horn this time. Charlene's saying nothing at the moment. She's still considering the options here. Well, this time we have Jack Carlin on the inside of the track, and he's going to be leading the race out. So it will be a different race to what we saw last time. So as you can see, looking backwards but riding forwards. This is a skill that these riders practice in training, in racing.
I started just starting to follow them around the corner there, making sure that they maintain that at least walking pace. It's walking pace, provided you don't walk very quickly at the moment. So Jack Carlin was made to work hard for victory in match A by Harry Ledingham-Horn. Different tactic being employed here. They'll have to either drop down the track or go a little bit quicker as they come to the banking. They elect to do the former and drop down into the well of the track. I suspect they may climb back up towards the top again as Jack Carlin, defending champion, Olympic bronze medalist in the sprint in Tokyo, still maintains that lead position. Ledingham-Horn, well, he's thinking when is the time to go here to catch Carlin at his most vulnerable, if there is such a point. Carlin up and down the track, drops inside that sprinter's line. Ledingham-Horn, though, is on the wheel, going down the back straight. Carlin on the inside, Ledingham-Horn on the outside. Again, this is going to be very close on the line. Carlin has the shorter run to get there. And on the line, oh, well, did we see an upset there? I think we may just have done. I think Harry Ledingham-Horn got there. What do you think, Charlie?
I think we'll have to wait and see for the photo finish.
Yeah, I like you hedging your bets there. It was really close. We are just actually behind the line here in our commentary box. So it'll be interesting to see the action replay that our live stream viewers will pick up on our YouTube channel. See if we can discern who got there. I think it was Harry Ledingham-Horn. The action replay showing them coming off this final corner. Carlin was on the inside, Ledingham-Horn powering over the top, throws his bike up the line, and he gets there. So that is one match each. That will go to a match C.
Well, that lunge of the line by Harry Ledingham-Horn certainly got him there first. What a great comeback. And now one more ride to come to the conclusion of who's going to be the gold medalist.
Remarkable stuff. Well, you're certainly getting value for money for your ticket fee this evening, folks. Being treated to an absolute great packed menu of superb cycling. That brilliant point race final, and the sprint for the men for the gold medal going right down to the wire, and the third and final heat. So we are preparing for the upcoming medal ceremonies for the women's scratch race and the men's points. We will then have the third and deciding match in the men's sprint gold medal final. And our final competitive action on the track will be the minor and then the major final of the women's keirin. And rounding off the evening will be the victory ceremonies for both of those races as well. But our first award ceremony of the evening, the women's scratch race victory ceremony, coming up in just a few minutes' time. The medal ceremony for the British Cycling National Track Championships 2023 Women's Scratch Race. The medals and flowers will be presented by Vice Chair British Cycling Richard Lodge. Winner of the bronze medal representing Team Inspired, Grace Lister. Winner of the silver medal, representing Team Hub, Nia Evans. Winner of the gold medal and national champion, representing Team Inspired, Jess Roberts. The flowers will now be presented by Vice Chair, British Cycling, Richard Lodge. Please congratulate all our National Championship medalists.
The medal ceremony for the British Cycling National Track Championships 2023 men's points race. The medals and flowers will be presented by CEO Welsh Cycling, Caroline Spanton. The winner of the bronze medal, representing St. Piran, Josh Charlton. Winner of the silver medal, representing St. Piran, William Tidbull. Winner of the gold medal and national champion, representing Cheney Windows and Doors Cycling, Will Perrott. The flowers will now be presented by CEO Welsh Cycling, Caroline Spanton. Please congratulate all our National Championship medalists.
So just a little pause before we resume the excitement with the decider in the men's sprint gold medal final. This battle between Jack Collin and Harry Ledingham-Horn will have come down to its decisive phase, the third and final encounter on track next. More excitement to come as well with the two finals in the women's keirin, the minor final for places 7 through to 12, and the major final for places 1 through 6, including, of course, the medal winners, gold, silver and bronze as well. So all of that still to come here on day 2 of these British Cycling National Track Championships for 2023. We do hope you're enjoying the action. I don't think you could have missed for a better night's entertainment. Don't forget, you can come along tomorrow as well. We've got racing that starts bright and early at 8:30 tomorrow morning. We begin with the pursuit phase of the men's team pursuit. We also have the women's team sprint qualification, women's points race qualification, men's scratch race qualification, and paracycling time trials for you during the course of tomorrow's morning session. And then in the afternoon, we have the finals of those events as we head towards the conclusion of these championships. So all to look forward to tomorrow. Tickets available. Check out the British Cycling website for details of how you can buy them if you've not got them already. And if you're not able to be with us here at the velodrome, don't forget you can keep across all the action right from the first race of the day till the very final medal ceremony on the British Cycling YouTube channel with our live stream. So the two riders involved in this sprint final for the gold medal are once again drawing for start position. Jack Collin won the first encounter. It's a close finish. Harry Ledingham-Horn won the second. It was a close finish. Who is going to win the third? We will find out very, very soon. Jack Collin, remember, is the defending champion, winning this title last March here at the Newport Velodrome. But he's met a stern opponent in his teammate Harry Ledingham-Horn.
Both riders just strapping their feet in, getting ready to go up onto the track for their final race of the day. Will it be gold or will it be silver?
Well, Harry Ledingham-Horn, of course, already with gold medal in the team sprint yesterday for Team Inspired. So a win here would be a big scalp to take that of the defending champion, the Olympic bronze medalist from Tokyo. I'm sure Jack Collin is going to bring all of the sprint tools he has to the track for this one. He knows now how much the pace of Harry Ledingham-Horn has affected the outcome of the two matches so far. He was only narrowly the winner of the opening match, and only narrowly beaten in the second one. So Jack Collin versus Harry Ledingham-Horn. This is the third and final match to decide who takes the gold medal.
Well, if one thing's for sure, this is going to be a fantastic tactical battle because there's not much in it between the two riders.
These two riders have obviously had some nervous moments in the wait for this final. Now they're on the track, and the reality is that in 3 laps' time, one of them will be national champion. Will Jack Collin retain his title? Will Harry Ledingham-Horn add a second national title and gold medal from that he took yesterday? Very measured pace currently. No one wants to make a mistake here and hand the victory to their opponent. Collin craning his neck, looking at Ledingham-Horn. Ledingham-Horn trying to hide himself in Collin's blind spot behind. Collin moving a little further forward. Ledingham-Horn matching him pedal stroke for pedal stroke. He's using the higher position on the track, trying to swoop down. Maybe trying to make a move underneath Collin. Collin trying to block that by defending the middle ground on the track here. Collin begins to raise the pace, opening up the sprint as they cross the 200-metre line. Here comes Harry Ledingham-Horn. Well, we've seen how fast he is. They draw level once again under the scoreboard. This is going to be another close finish. And on the line this time, oh, well, I think Jack Collin might just have got that one. Threw his bike at the line, so too did Harry Ledingham-Horn. That will go to a photo finish to determine the gold medal winner. Well, what a finale to that men's sprint.
That was almost like a rerun of the previous race.
And I can tell you it is Harry Ledingham-Horn who's taken it. Well, we are slightly behind the line here, and at the actual line where the photo finish is located. That is the result. Harry Ledingham-Horn is the new national sprint champion by the very slenderest of margins. First rider to congratulate him, of course, is Jack Carlin. Our live stream viewers are going to see the action replay of this one. Carlin on the inside, Ledingham-Horn on the outside, shoulder to shoulder, almost making contact coming out of corner 4, powering down the finishing straight, and it's that lunge for the line by Ledingham-Horn. I think it was no more than the width of a tyre in favour of the eventual gold medal winner, but he pushed his bike just farther forward than did Jack Carlin. There is the photo finish image briefly for you on the scoreboard, if you caught a sight of that. And I would say that official distance is a tyre's width in favour of Harry Ledingham-Horn. Doesn't matter how small the gap, he was first across the line, and by a margin of 2 matches to 1. Harry Ledingham-Horn is the national champion for the men's sprint for 2023. Silver for Jack Carlin, and the bronze medal for Matthew Rotherham.
We now have the female keirin minor final. We have 4 riders on the track. Ellie Stone. We have Serena Nat. We have Sylvia Mitsal and Iona Moyer.
Well, Georgette Rand, who was in this minor final, has elected not to take the start. So the order is Ellie Stone in the black of black line on the inside. She was last year's gold medal winner, but this year she's fighting for a victory in the minor final. Red jersey is occupied by Serena Nat of the Wales Racing Academy. Behind her for the Glasgow Track RC is Sylvia Mistal, and bringing up the rear is Team Inspired's Iona Moore.
Ellie Stone got caught at the back of the race last time, so I imagine she'll want to keep that front space as long as possible, even if it does mean leading the race out.
3 laps is the point at which the Derny bike will leave the track, at which point they'll be travelling at a velocity of 50 kilometres per hour.
And the reason that the riders leave gaps between the wheels is so that they've got room to manoeuvre around their opponents.
Well, that was the undoing of Ellie Stone earlier in the semi-finals, is that she couldn't get herself out of the box. She'd got trapped in. That meant she was not able to secure a place in the major final and defend her championship title from 12 months ago. She'd love to dominate this minor final, I'm sure, but Serena Nat immediately behind her will want to have something to say about that. So too Iona Moore and Sylvia Mistal. Stone in the black of black line on the front, and now it's Moore starting to move up on the outside for Team Inspired. Serena Nat in danger of being boxed in on this occasion. It's Stone, as you said, Charlene. She may take it on from the front. That's what she's done so far. But the challenge coming on her right hip from Serena Nat. Moore is a spent force, so it's between Stone, Nat and Mistal for this one. And on the line, it'll be Ellie Stone in first place, Sylvia Mistal for second, Serena Nat for third, and fourth place will go to Iona Moore for Team Inspired. That's the outcome of the women's keirin minor final. Now, I don't often make predictions during cycle commentary, but I think I am pretty safe to say that the eventual winner of the gold medal in the women's keirin in 6 laps' time will be a rider from Team Inspired. The reason for that will be very obvious as they come out onto the side of the track. Commentators' nightmare emerges onto the boards of the Geraint Thomas National Velodrome of Wales. All 6 riders, pretty much identically clad, all from Team Inspired, are taking on this women's keirin final. They are, in no particular order at the moment, Lauren Bell, Katie Marchant, Lowry Thomas, Emma Finnecane, Sophie Capewell and Millicent Tanner. So the riders in what you might at first glance think might be a 6-rider team pursuit are lined up for the keirin final here. Well, picking out some identification for you, Emma Finnecane, last year's silver medalist, is second from the top of the track with number 53 on her back. Just to her immediate left is Katie Marchant, number 113. Just below Marchant is last year's bronze medalist, Sophie Capewell. Further down the track from Sophie Capewell is Millicent Tanner. And so that leaves Lauren Bell and Lowry Thomas. And that's your lineup complete. Rider on the inside position is Lowry Thomas. That must mean that the rider at the top of the track is Lauren Bell. They drop into that order behind the Derny. Well, look at that, Charlene. All white helmets, all rear disc wheels, all black bikes. There is a rule actually that says that if riders come to the track in the same team, there has to be a distinguishing feature other than the race number. But when you've got 6 of them, hard to pick 6 different distinguishing features, isn't it?
Well, some have got different bikes and gloves.
Gloves?
See some gloves.
Nail polish colour, do you think we could go by that? No, because they're wearing gloves, can't do that one. 4 laps to go, a lap before the Derny leaves the track.
Well, at the back, Lauren Bell there's got a nice graze on her leg from her crash last week. She's been doing well after coming down. She's back on the track. And the Derny is going to peel off this lap now. Gaps beginning to appear, allowing for manoeuvres to happen.
Lowry Thomas, rider who takes up the immediate lead here. She's been there since the riders departed from the line. 2 laps to go. A couple of little splits here. The pace being built from further down the line. And the rider who is instigating that is Sophie Capewell, last year's bronze medalist. Capewell comes to the front, a lap to go this time. Now her position under threat as another attacking move over the top. Capewell trying to hold off the charge here from Emma Finnecane. Emma Finnecane, last year's silver medalist. Finnecane comes through. She's a sprint champion already. A late charge around the outside for the silver medal position. Coming towards the line, will it be Finnecane to hold on? Yes, she'll take it. Second place will go to Katie Marchant. Did Sophie Capewell manage to hang on for third? Well, no doubt about your medal winner, her second gold medal performance in as many days. Emma Finnecane takes the women's keirin final and the gold medal. Second place goes to Katie Marchant. Third indeed was Sophie Capewell for the bronze medal, repeating her performance from 12 months ago. Lowry Thomas 4th, Millicent Tanner 5th, and Lauren Bell in 6th place. Well, I don't think we did too badly there, Charlene, picking out our winner. And it was Emma Finnecane who takes the gold medal and first place and the national title for the keirin. Well, I'm sure you will agree, folks, it has been an absolutely phenomenal night's racing, and we would really like you to show your appreciation and your respect for the athletes by staying for the remaining 2 presentation ceremonies. They'll be coming up very, very shortly. Men's sprint victory ceremony will be first, followed by the women's keirin, and I'm sure the riders would appreciate your rousing cheers and applause when they go up onto the podium to receive the medals, the national jerseys and the flowers. Well, 11 hours and 45 minutes after we started racing at 9 o'clock this morning. We are very close to the conclusion of action here today. Just those 2 remaining victory ceremonies to round off what has been a phenomenal second day of these national championships. More to come tomorrow, of course. Don't forget, we start at the very early hour of 8:30 a.m. No lies in for anyone this Sunday morning, but when there are national titles at stake, it's worth getting up for. If you have tickets, we'd love you to join us. If you haven't yet got tickets, they are still available. And don't forget, if you are having a lie-in, then flick on the TV onto YouTube if you've got one of those smart TVs, or indeed on your favourite connected device, and follow all the action on the British Cycling YouTube channel via our live stream. You won't miss a moment of the racing tomorrow on our live stream.
The medal ceremony for the British Cycling National Track Championships 2023 Women's Keirin. The medals and flowers will be presented by CEO Welsh Cycling Caroline Spanton. The winner of the bronze medal, representing Team Inspired, Sophie Capewell. Winner of the silver medal, representing Team Inspired, Katie Marchant. Winner of the gold medal and national champion, representing Team Inspired, Emma Finucane. The flowers will now be presented by CEO Welsh Cycling Caroline Spanton. Please congratulate all our National Championship medalists.
The medal ceremony for the British Cycling National Track Championships 2023 Men's Sprint. The medals and flowers will be presented by CEO of Welsh Cycling Caroline Spanton. Winner of the bronze medal, representing ESV Manchester, Matt Rotherham. Winner of the silver medal, representing Team Inspired, Jack Carlin. Winner of the gold medal and national champion, representing Team Inspired, Harry Ledingham Horn. the flowers will now be presented by CEO of Welsh Cycling, Caroline Spanton. Please congratulate all our National Championship medalists. So that concludes day number 2 of the British Cycling National Track Cycling Championships here at the Geraint Thomas National Velodrome of Wales. Thank you to everyone who's joined us here in the velodrome and also have tuned in across the world via the British Cycling YouTube channel to follow the action on our live stream. We have got more to come tomorrow. Racing begins at 8:30 tomorrow morning as we head into the men's team pursuit qualification round. So please do join us for the 3rd and final day of the British Cycling National Track Championships. But until then, from my co-commentator Charlene Jones and myself, Carl Lawrenson, it's good night.